holy hell? Congress said we can't use human prisoners. These assholes aren't human.
Frank, it's an honor to meet you. I've basically grown up with you since Prison Break. Warriors, one of my favorite movies of all time. So I'm glad to see you in the DC universe finally. I love the first 5 episodes of Creature Command. It's been so much fun seeing, just this wacky show kick off this new franchise. My first question was, has James given you, we get a little bit of a taste of Rick's history throughout the series, but has James given you kind of a 101 on what he's been up to, prior to the events of Creature Command? How much do you know of Rick's history at this point?
Yeah, no, that's, because Rick isn't real prominent in any of the comics. He gave me a good 10 or 8 pages of a backstory and history and how Rick has come to this place. So yeah, he did help with that. And then he was like, now take this and do what you want with it. You know what I mean? He gave me the freedom to, implement a lot of myself into Rick's not so far. This is a character that's not so far away from me.
Oh, so you get to put a lot of yourself into him.
Yeah, he's very similar to myself, which, sometimes it's harder to do that because as an actor, you kind of trained not to do that. But there's always an element of yourself, obviously, in what you're doing. But this guy, the way he believes in the world and his relationship to his son, and it's very similar.
For someone who gets tasked with running a team of monsters and kind of like the unnatural, Rick seems very, very chill with everything that he sees around him. Is it fair to say that he's had a lot of experience with these kind of individuals around him? Yeah,
I liken it to Men in Black and how Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith reacted to all the aliens. It was what it was. It was a world that I live in. And nothing about it is really abnormal because it's my circumstance. And it's the same thing with Flag. I mean, he's like, okay, what's that one do? What's that one do? And all right. And so it's all kind of normal. It's all kind of normal to him. And that's what makes it fun for me.
A dynamic we see come to life that I wasn't expecting at all was Eric and Rick. Again, kind of Eric just wants a BFF, and he's clearly seeing something in Rick, but Rick doesn't seem to let a lot of people in very easily. How does that change throughout the rest of the series as we see him? Does he start to kind of let more people in, or is he kind of very shut off?
No, I think he does. I think it's essential. I think, first of all, he has to, right? Because they are a team. But I think he wants to. I think the death of his son has created such a shell and has hardened him in such a way that he's either going to die or change, right? And I think it's amazing that this group of misfits and what they represent have the ability to do that for him. And it's interesting. And also you could see, look, he wants to be loved. He wants to have love. And he's willing to kind of jeopardize something for the desire of the princess. And that's an interesting conundrum too.
Speaking of your son, again, because we get, he touches upon about his dynamic with Rick Jr. I'm kind of just at this point, I really want to see you and Joel Kinnaman actually getting to have at least some kind of flashbacks and kind of just explore that dynamic a little bit more. Is that something that is that something we may see happen? Is it something that you want to see happen?
Joel and I are doing our own movie. No, I'm joking. It's a joke.
I will take.
I love Joel. We're pals, and I think he's a great actor, and it would be interesting to explore that. I know. I don't know. James has not mentioned any of that, but I would be down for it. If people respond, and it's all about the audience. It's all about you. It's all about, do you respond to the character? Right? In a way where you want to see more of them. That kind of dictates if the guy's going to be around, at least in an important way. So, it remains to be seen how people respond to him.
Because we're going to see a lot of you. Again, I know you can't talk about what's coming after this, but what's the through line of Rick's kind of character arc throughout the DCU as we see him, starting from Creature Commandos? What is his through line that you could talk about?
Yeah, the through line is growth, is professional growth, is him taking on a bigger and bigger role. in the DCU and being in charge, being able to kind of do things that his hands were tied before. So it's and then it's about him balancing that responsibility.
What has been something that's been again, because you get to jump between live action and animation, what has been I guess the most rewarding aspect of because you're no stranger to being part of superhero universes, but here they're really using you in a lot of good ways. What is the most rewarding aspect of that?
It's just being really involved in such a great way from the beginning, and so I have a chance to be in the embryonic stages of this in a big capacity and not just used as a plot device and then shunned away. So in this thing, Rick, you can't do it without Rick Flag Sr., the way James has set it up. And that is really, to me, it's important, and I'm grateful for it, and I take it very seriously. And again, I tell James and Peter this all the time, whatever you guys got planned, I'm game.
If you could just tease, again, I've seen the first 5.
Right.
What should I and people who have seen these first 5 episodes, what should we look forward to in the final 2 episodes?
I think mostly it's unpredictable what's gonna, like, if you think you don't know. You don't know, and so that's what makes it fun. And like any great series, you must watch it to the end, to the last minute of the last episode, to get all out of it what you put into it, and that's what makes great television.
Was the aspect being able to do a product like this that is not just animated but also gets to be R-rated and very dark and very dark humor? Was that something that was like very appealing to be like, oh, I want to jump on this very, very quickly? Yeah,
man. When I read, I was like, dude, I am in, because I've never done or seen anything like this. I mean, it's R. I mean, the fights are violent and they're really great, and there's steamy love scenes, and
there sure are.
A lot of great. There's so many great lines, humorous lines. It's so funny at times. And like all of Gunn's things, I mean, it's got heart. You know what I mean? It's like, this is like an actor's dream. And it's animated. So I didn't have to put clothes on. I could just go to the booth in my underwear.
There you go. And before I let you go, I just have to ask, who wins in a fight, Rick Flag or Peacemaker? It's close, but I don't know. I think Flag is a little smarter. Definitely smarter, yeah. Because there's, I love Peacemaker.
Well, the smart guy wins the fight.
They sure do. They sure do.
As a fighter, I'm going to tell you, the smart guy wins.
Well, Frank, again, I'm so excited to see what they're going to do with you for the rest of your DC Universe arc. I'm happy to see a superhero universe finally using you, utilizing more and not just blowing you up, so to speak. Yeah. And hopefully, we will speak soon in the future. So thank you so much for your time today.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Said you wanted me to be a hero. Not like that.